It's another beautiful day here in Southern California, and today I'm going to be taking you guys to one of my favorite spots in the entire state. It's a really iconic location along PCH known as Point Mugu, but in today's video I'm going to be focusing on the history of Mugu Rock. So if you're a California local and you cruise by that rock all the time, or if you're a tourist who's just passed along on your journey, you're really gonna find this video interesting because the history of that spot is so fascinating. I have done a ton of research in the last few days, learning everything I can about the area, and I've also collected a lot of old photographs that date back to the early 1900s, showing you what the area looked like. So we're gonna cruise over to the rock right now in my 1967 Pontiac Tempest, but first we need gas. There's nothing better than a full tank of gas and a cruise over to Mugu Rock, especially on such a beautiful day. I've really got my fingers crossed that the beach is going to be nice and clear, but we'll see. Another major reason why I love Mugu Rock so much is the cruise over is incredible. It's nothing but wide open roads, no traffic, farm fields all around, beautiful mountains. There's nothing like it. And if you drive a cool car like I do, you can really open them up here. So here we are, turning on to PCH. So if you're coming from Oxnard, Camarillo, you'd be cruising southbound towards Mugu Rock, and this is what the drive looks like. We're stuck behind a truck, but that's all right because we're just cruising. So pulling up to Mugu Rock is kind of a fine art here, as you'll see. You don't want to go too fast because you might hit somebody, but you don't want to go too slow because you might get rear-ended. So just be careful. It's so beautiful. Gosh, I love this spot so much. I'm gonna give you guys a little walk around first, just to show you. This is like the parking lot area. It's pretty lively here on weekends when the weather's nice. Ton of cars here, car clubs, a bunch of stuff, fruit stands. Look at all these seagulls. But is this not the most beautiful view of the coast? I just I love this stretch of PCH so much, going all the way down to the Sandhill and Thornhill Broome Beach. This is just my favorite little stretch of coastline. A lot of people just like to come here and park and just hang out. But yeah, this is the area today in 2024. All right, let's dive right into the history. So PCH, or Pacific Coast Highway, was originally known as Roosevelt Highway back when the road first opened in 1929. Interestingly enough, the Malibu section was actually the very last section to open due to a major dispute with a landowner named May Ringe. Now, May Ringe basically owned all of Malibu. She had a 17,000 acre ranch, and when the state said that they had plans to build a road along the coast, she did everything she could to fight it. She even set up armed guards at the entrances to the ranch to really make a statement, and she did not want anyone on her property. Ultimately, the case went to the Supreme Court, and they ruled in favor of the county, and they were granted right-of-way to start construction. So about the rock. Mugu Rock wasn't actually always a rock. Until 1937, the rock was actually connected here to the Santa Monica Mountains, and it is the most western point of the entire Santa Monica mountain range. So when construction initially began for the Roosevelt Highway, they decided to create a 275 curve radius around the rock as part of the route for the highway. So that road is still visible today behind that fence. Basically, the road at some point there would have turned here into where the parking lot is, gone right along the edge to behind the fence, and then all the way around. So unfortunately, the road today is almost completely deteriorated. There's still a way to get to the other side, and I'll do my best to get over there. But yeah, for those of you who didn't know that, this was actually not just a natural rock formation on its own. It was connected here in the middle. And we'll get to how this all came to be, but for now, I'll show you the old road, or rather what's left of it. So it's kind of sketchy. You have to climb over here. A lot of graffiti and a lot of accidents, a lot of deaths here. But this right here was the old PCH. Sad that there's so much graffiti. And I've seen some cool photos from people who've actually climbed up to the top looking down here. I wouldn't recommend it, but so here again is that beautiful coastline view. So yeah, this is what it looks like January 2024. This is the old PCH. Okay, so I'm currently mustering up the courage to cross over to that side. I've been there before with Danny, and it's a sketchy little hike. I am really afraid of heights, and this is not a safe path. So I can't say I recommend this to anyone unless you're more of a adventurer type or you have really good footing. But I'm gonna do it for educational purposes. I'm gonna cross over so I can show you that section. But here's the view from where I'm standing. So here's the rock, and then this is the old PCH as I showed you guys, and it came all the way around this way and wrapped around the curve here. So if you check it out, right there is the old road that is overhanging. I'll try and get a better angle. So basically, directly below here, ton of rocks, and there is the highway that's just holding on for dear life with all this rubble on top. And that's where Danny and I went fishing over the summer. It truly is a beautiful spot, so I really want to show it to you guys. And there's even more of the road on that side. So, mustering up the courage. Enough talking. This is the only way to get over there. So you have old PCH holding you up. You kind of have to walk around this ledge to get over there. So, oh boy. Mom, if you're watching, I promise this is the last time I will ever do this. I don't really have much desire to come back here again. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna stop here. Definitely did not wear my hiking shoes. Whew. It's actually not bad at all, but it is really scary if you're afraid of heights. Like, really scary. Whew. So I just walked basically like that. So here is what's left of this part of the turn. You have the road that wrapped around to the other side, and there is no way to get over there from here. You'd have to go around the other side of the rock, and I've never actually been to that little section there, but got this beautiful little area right in here, and there is the old highway. Let me zoom in. And this is where we came fishing over the summer, to this spot right here, standing on rocks right over there, casting down below. We caught a couple good ones here. Unfortunately, a lot of trash gets left behind. If I had my trash bag with me, I'd be picking this stuff up. But this place is just incredible at sunset. To just be here, it's something about it is like so calming, and you don't really hear any of the road traffic. It's just the ocean. And then there's this little spot here that gives you a view of the water, but I am not going there. Even the seagulls come here to hang out. So if you've never been back here, and if you have no desire to cross over that really sketchy area, this is a little view for you. Now, onto the darker part of Mugu history. So the oldest story that I found goes back to the Chumash Indians, and there are so many different versions of this story, but the one I found that was verified says that Princess Hueneme was cheated on by her husband, and so she committed suicide by jumping off the point here into the ocean. And that's why it's said that this rock has a certain sadness or a, sad aura around it. It draws in a lot of people who are going through a hard time in their life, and you'll see there's people who'll just sit in the parking lot. And I've personally felt that about this place too. Like, if you're ever having trouble, like, this is a spot to come and feel calm, and it's just so beautiful. It really brings some perspective out here. So I believe it. That's one of the oldest stories that I was able to find. But back to more modern times, in 1929, when Roosevelt Highway opened, this area, or this specific stretch here, this curve, proved to be such a problem. There were so many fatalities once the freeway opened. Motorists would be driving around this super tight curve and ultimately drive off over the edge. And this happened a lot. Another issue was that with the high surf and with bad weather, it created a lot of closures for this section. It was undrivable. So that was another major issue. But like I said, the biggest one was the fatalities. So basically, a year later, California Highway Patrol inspector begged for an alternate and safer route to be available for motorists. And that's ultimately when the idea of blowing up Mugu Rock came to be. Something I forgot to mention is that Point Mugu earned its name Dead Man's Rock after all of the deaths that had happened there. And even till this day, there are still a ton of tragedies that occur, from car crashes to people falling off the rocks and being swept away by the surf. So in October of 1937, they began carving a 200-foot deep cut through Point Mugu right here, and they used 107 tons of explosives to blast through this part of the wall. It wasn't actually until February of 1940 that the project would be complete. And what's interesting is they never actually closed this part of the highway. So the old PCH that wrapped around would then be used as a scenic route or an alternate route to go all the way around. And there were still accidents that happened all those years later, and they basically left it until it ultimately deteriorated until what it is now. and obviously no one can drive it. But I just find this place so interesting, and I remember coming here for my first time and seeing this rock and thinking how cool it, it stands all alone, a perfect area for the highway to go through, but that's just not the case. It used to be connected here, and I just find the history so fascinating. Okay, we're gonna head to one more spot to really get another view of the rock. Gonna hop back in the Pontiac and go for a little cruise. Actually, fun fact, this was the very first spot I cruised my Pontiac after I had just finished rebuilding the engine for it. So I remember coming here, parking, and this is actually where I met my friend Steve Z, who, shout out to Steve. There were a lot of nicknames for this area, Dead Man's Rock being one of them, Blood Alley, but Steve said it best. He described old PCH as an accident looking for a place to happen. So this is my favorite beach right here, Thornhill, Broome Beach. It's a campground that Danny and I have stayed at many, many times. It's actually one of the only campgrounds where you can basically park on the sand. Great day to have a spot. But I'm cruising over to one of my other favorite but also most dreaded spots, the Sandhill. I'm going to climb to the top for you guys and show you the view. So this view right here, I have a photo that's kind of from a similar angle. I'll throw that up on the screen. But here we are at the Sandhill, January 2024. This is my first climb of the year. So let's give it a go. I always just leave my shoes here in the sand. And the view is incredible. Well, I made it to the very top, and this is the gorgeous view that you get to enjoy once you make that really difficult hike up here. It's just so nice, especially on a day like today. I have such a love-hate with the Sandhill. My personal record, climbing it, I've done it 3 times in 1 hour. So that's my personal record. It's pretty lame. If you're a local, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what your Sandhill record is. And who knows, maybe this summer as the weather starts to get nicer, you'll see me in the Pontiac out here getting our workout in. Something else I forgot to mention while I was over at the Rock is you will recognize it from a ton of car commercials and different movies and films over the years, but primarily the car commercials are a big thing. You will usually always see Mugu Rock in the background if you see like a beautiful coastal shot of some of the new car manufacturers. So just a little fun fact. Well, that is going to do it for today's video and little history lesson. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just want to give full credit to all these people right here. I got all my research, facts, and photos from these outlets, so full credit to them. I'm just here presenting the info. And please leave a comment down below letting me know if you'd like to see more videos like this one. I love Southern California history, so this was really fun to shoot, and I would love to do more of these in the future. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next time.